How do you know that you know enough to do eBay well? I don't know if there's an answer to that. Some people seem to think they have an answer, but I'm going to give you my take on it. Hey, what's up guys? So long time no see. I've been busy with the Reseller Meetup at Omaha. We were gone for several days. I didn't have anything already scheduled to drop on YouTube, so I apologize for the absence for these last few days. But new video today and a cool topic that I think you will like. I'm asking you this question: when/how do you know that you know enough? How do you know when you have acquired enough knowledge, enough understanding that you can just proceed with just what you already know? Is there a such thing as knowing too much? I think those are good questions, because sometimes I find that people get in this place where they feel like they have nothing left to learn. I don't know about that. We're also going to be looking at sales from the weekend. Again, it's not as busy as I would like it to be, but I don't want to complain. I'm thankful for every sale that I get. I've got 13 items going out today for $584.34. So that being said, let's jump right into what sold and we'll get back to the topic in a minute. So my first item going out today, I have, wouldn't you know it, a CD. So this is Winger, Pull by Winger. I got $7.99 plus ship for this. Not a whole lot, but I'll take it. Remember I told you that when I was listing all this stuff, I decided to list singly everything that I thought I could get $8 or more for. So that's one of them. And that's going out the door again, $7.99 plus shipping. My next sale, as always, I'm going in order from the least dollar amount total to the greatest dollar amount total. That includes shipping, fees, and all that stuff. All right, the next item going out is a pair of Levi's denim shorts. These are a 541 and they are a size 36. The inseam is about 10 inches, so they're a little bit longer of a short. These were $12 plus shipping. So I'll take that. And you'll notice a trend here on this video. I've got quite a few clothing items that are going out. So, you know, I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. Sometimes it's nearly all hard goods, but I do have a lot of clothing listed in my store. And sometimes I have a week or a weekend where it seems like, you know, 3 out of 4 items that sell is closed. It's just what it is. But I'm trying to make a living, so I sell what I can sell. And clothes work for me a lot of the time. The next item is a Wrangler Pearl Snap. Okay, so this is the Wrangler Retro. Now, when I say retro this time, I do not mean old. Wrangler actually puts out a line of more premium, heavier, nicer made shirts that they refer to as the Wrangler Retro brand. Now, I wouldn't suggest always picking these up. Now, if you get them super cheap so that you can price competitively, I have to say it, price it competitively, then you'll be able to move it. This sold for $12 plus shipping. And I didn't mention money in any of this stuff, but like the shorts, that was from one of my local thrift stores where I paid $2.25 to $2.50 an item. They've upped their price by a quarter recently, so I don't remember if I bought that before or after they changed it. Same thing with this, about $2.50 is what I got in that. So I'm not investing a lot in these things, and you know, the CDs have been paid for. So, you know, there's nothing left to account for on this, and it was a bulk buy, but that was all profit. Just a reminder. Okay, next item going out, I have had this for a while. I think I paid $7.99 for this. I may mispronounce this name. It's the A-K-O-O, Aku. I'm not sure. I'll be honest, I never Googled it and did the pronunciation because I really don't care. Being a redneck, I'd probably mess it up anyway. But that being the case, it is color blocked. You can't tell that here. So the logo is embroidered, and I've had this for a while. I've actually had some offers on this and I've passed on them, but this time I sent out a super aggressive offer, $10, just got rid of it. I've had this listed for like $25, but I've had this for like 2 years. So I'm saying goodbye to it today. I got my money back. That's good enough for me today. $10 plus shipping. The good thing is the shipping on this evidently was still set at priority. So the shipping was like $13. So in the end, I'm probably gonna make a few dollars on this because shipping will probably cost me $6, $7, something like that. And that gives me about $17, right? That goes toward the sale. That might have been why I wasn't selling it. And that's on me. That's one of those things where I have been lazy. I don't know how else to put it. But knowing that I've got items that need to have some updates done, I have just not gone through, and I'm looking forward to this. Teaser, I've got a new building. There's a video coming out about that. So as I move my inventory and begin to get organized, I'm going through all that old stock, and I'm going to start eliminating or changing, fixing, all that different stuff. So the next item going out is a set of Maxwell cassette tapes. These are 3 deep, so there are 12 of these. 12 of these, brand new, unopened, okay? Normal bias, 90-minute tapes, and I sold these for $17.49 plus shipping. I probably could have got a little more, but I was ready for these to move as well, and I think I had $3 in these, so I made a decent profit on those. All right, next item, this is a Ralph Lauren Blake shirt. Now, look, I know I said that I was going to lot some of these up, and I will. I buy Blake shirts all the time. If I see them out, the Ralph Lauren Blakes, and they're nice condition, it's not just like you've seen on my sourcing video, you know, where you saw me buy like 6 or 8 at one time. I buy them fairly regular. And so some I have listed individually, some I will list as a group. If it's a color or a style that I think I can move quickly by itself, sometimes I list it individually. This one I took an offer of $15 plus shipping. I know some of you are going to say that's not enough, that you could have got $20, $25. And I probably could if I waited a long time. Definitely, I think close to 20, but sometimes for me, it's about moving the merchandise. You know, when you've got like $1.50 in it and you can move it out the door quickly for 15, I'm turning that money over fast, okay? I'm turning that $1.50 back into my pocket along with a good bit of profit. If I can sell 3 times as many of these in the same period of time by pricing them a little lower, and I always have a good source of them for $1.50 to $3, to me, that makes more money than fighting for those few dollars. Everybody's of their own opinion. I'll leave it up to you how you decide to proceed with that. But for me, it makes sense. All right, next item. Now I'm going to stop after this one, go back to our topic for a minute, kind of flesh that out some. So this is a vintage 1990s Auburn sweatshirt. This is made by Jerseys. It is made in USA. Really, really nice. It's got the big logo, the big helmet print on it, Auburn Tigers, Auburn above the helmet, Tigers underneath the helmet. And this is, again, 1990s. It's a 2XL. I would say based on the measurements I took, it's probably on the small side of 2XL, but I included measurements, of course. And this sold for $15 plus shipping. Now, a lot of times vintage items will sell for more than that. This is probably a $20 to $25 sweatshirt if you wait a long time. But again, guys, $3 into 15, and it was listed like a week. So I'm moving it out the door. All right. Now, back to our topics. So the question was basically, how do you know that you've learned enough? When do you really have it all figured out? Do you have it all figured out? I would say, if you're asking me that question, I want to say not even close. Sometimes I think the more I learn about a lot of things, the less I really know about it. Like, even with eBay, like the more I learn and the more that I feel like I flesh out the knowledge and I research and I watch other resellers and I talk to other resellers. Man, there's so many things that I feel like I was doing well or doing right that I find out I need to make changes to. Everything can be refined. I don't really allude to this a lot, but I was a teacher for 18 years and I also teach Sunday school, and I've taught Sunday school for about the same amount of time. And that word refined is used in the Bible a lot, but it's also just a historical word, because if you think about what it means to be refined, it's usually referring to a precious metal. So if you take an ore like gold ore or silver ore, man, it's got value there, but there's so much stuff in it that's not valuable. So a lot of times as we're going out and we're picking brains and we're watching videos and we're gathering information and I'm researching online about how to run a business and how to operate well on eBay, or maybe with my YouTube channel, how to be successful with YouTube, there's an abundance of information, but the problem is not all the information is sound. Or maybe it's sound for some people and applies in some situations, but I find it doesn't apply to my situation. So I say that for this, it's just like a metallic ore. It's got a lot of stuff in there that you really don't need, maybe for you anyway. And so it requires refining, and that takes time. And, you know, even the purest samples, say like of gold, they still typically have some impurities in them. I don't know, other than, you know, biblically, that there's any such thing as pure gold. You know, the Bible describes pure gold as like transparent glass in heaven. I've never seen that, so who knows? And some people would argue with those things. So I'm just saying that when I'm presenting you with information, I'm not trying to say that I am the absolute authority and I really know it all. I'm giving you the best view that I can give you based on what I know. It's based on what I've learned. It's based on what I've researched. And I'm liable to be a year from now saying something that I used to think I was doing right and saying, guys, I've changed my viewpoint on this. I've got to do something different. Now, that's just about learning. So I feel like I'm rambling again, and I know I do that. And some of you say, well, it's okay. I don't mind the rambling. But I just want to put it this way. I don't have it all figured out. And again, I'm not even close. Be careful not to get lazy when it comes to educating yourself. And that's what this all comes down to. Never reach that assumption that you're only a fountain of knowledge and not a fountain that needs filled with knowledge. You see, I still need to learn stuff. I try to share what I know to the best of my ability, but there's so much that I need to learn and so much learning that I've acquired that I need to refine more. You know, I need to be able to purge out the things that don't need to be there and get more focused on those things that are helping me. So there's a lot of folks that give off this impression, though, that they're the complete authority, and maybe the complete authority when it comes to reselling. But again, I promise you, there's always more to learn. When I was a teacher, we always used this phrase to be a lifelong learner. You know, when we were evaluated, that's what it all come down to. We were evaluated so they could point out our weaknesses and we could develop professionally to become a better educator. Well, what does that require? That requires training and learning. And it's the same way as a reseller. If you want to be great at it and not just good at it, or good at it and not just okay at it, or okay at it and not just a novice, depending on where you find yourself, right? Then you have to be willing to accept the fact that you don't know it all and be willing to put in the work to learn the things that you don't know. So be a lifelong learner. Have an open mind. I find too that it's very easy to get a closed-minded approach. Like, I know it, I already know. I know more than you do. I'm not listening. Or that I can't learn from these people. These people have nothing to contribute. But listen, guys, I'm just going to tell you, I think everyone has something to contribute if you will listen and have an open mind. Talking about reselling information. You may disagree with 99% of what they say, but every now and then there's going to be something come up that you haven't thought of, and you're going to be like, wow, that would really help me. I need to try that. So give it a chance. Pay attention. Be a learner. I have kids all the time when I was in school that would come up to me, and you know, I'm a history teacher, right? And so because I'm a history teacher, they automatically assume they can ask me any question about any period or any event in history, and I'm supposed to have the answer. I'm supposed to be able to immediately just tell them what it was, when it happened, who did it. Look, history is miles and miles and miles long, and it goes so deep. So deep, okay? There's so many intricacies and details and things. And, you know, we don't know all that. There's no way to know it all. The things that I know well. But I'm going to tell you what, the things I don't know at all. So they were always astonished at times when I would be like, I don't know the answer to that. Now, we can find the answer, and that's what I tell them. We'll look it up. We'll figure it out. But there's many times I didn't have an answer. I guess I said all that to say this. Learn something new every day. You may have heard me say that. Alicia, the ink picker, she did a video at Planes to Profit where she did the ABCs of reselling. I happened to land on the L, and when she first asked me, I was like, I don't know. Because someone had already said listing, but they had tied it to another word. And so I was like, well, you know, what would I go with there? And then it just kind of hit me. You got to be a learner. Learn something new every day. It's so important. Expand your knowledge as a reseller. Expand your knowledge of eBay. Expand your knowledge of your product. I mean, there's so many avenues to learn, and so many things that we can know that we probably don't know are things we don't know well enough that we can improve on. You can never know too much. Just telling you. You can never know too much about your skill, about your job, your profession, about your niche if you're an eBay seller, or about eBay or any of the many parts of eBay that make it work. You can always learn, always add to that knowledge. Now look, don't become overwhelmed with it, and don't burn yourself out. You need time away as well. But just as sure as you list every day, make sure you take time to learn something new about your job every day so that you become a better reseller. All right, last few items. Hope that didn't bore you to death. I'm doing the best I can to get this across. Sometimes I think, I think it out in my head and I think this is going to be great. And then I start talking. I'm like, I don't know if this is going as good as I thought. But to the best of my ability, if I didn't repeat myself too much, I hope you got something out of that. determined again, learn something new every day. So our next item going out, this is a top from the scrub brand Figs. Figs is a good brand of scrubs, and so these are fairly expensive. I got this at the bins. It's been a long time ago, and I listed this, and I didn't take an offer one time. I could have sold it right after I listed it. Man, it's just laid in my store forever now. It's an extra small. I only got it because it was new with tags, and I thought it would sell faster than it did. If I'd have had bottoms, probably would have. Nevertheless, this did finally sell for my full asking price, $23.99 plus shipping. So patience, right? Patience is another thing to learn. Patience is one of the hardest lessons to learn in life. And so the next thing, I have another item that I had to be very patient with. This is a pair of Asics, basically like a volleyball shoe. They're the Gel Rocket 8. So these are brand new, but this is not a new style. And sometimes once the new style comes out, the older styles get harder to sell. So I've had these for about 1.5 years, but man, they're just perfect. I mean, they got the tags hanging on them, and it's a great pair of volleyball shoes for someone that doesn't care if it's the current style. Now, I didn't get a mint for these. I had these priced up about $35, but they have been in my store forever. So I took an offer of $20. Again, this week, one of the themes of this week is, if you've sat on it a very, very long time and you get an offer where you're not losing money, now I'm talking about low dollar items, not something totally unique, right? We're not talking about a one-of-a-kind collectible. This is a pair of shoes, man. I mean, there's plenty of shoes out there. So I can buy shoes every single day that I go sourcing. So on things like this, once it's sat there that long, I'm just interested in getting that money back in my pocket so that maybe I can buy something that will sell quicker and start turning that money over. All right, next item. I have another brush popper. This is a Wrangler. It's got the Aztec or Southwest pattern. It's like a tan color. And then it's got these maroon like Aztec or Southwest native style stripes on it. Very, very cool shirt. I like this one a lot. Again, it's a 2XL and it's also a tall. So it's got some things going for it. Being larger size, being a long tail shirt, those all help it. And it is vintage. So this item sold for $30 plus shipping. It's not one of those really high dollar ones. I mean, as far as like $100 or $80, but look, I'll take $30. I didn't give a price on the Figs, but that come from the bin, so that was probably less than $1, super light. And the shoes I think I gave $5 for, and still turned them into 20. For whatever reason, because I didn't record, I guess since last week early, I'm forgetting to tell you prices, but I'm going back and getting them. And so on this one, this Wrangler shirt, I've had this for a while. And I'm pretty sure I got this one at America's Thrift Store, which means I probably gave about $6.99 for it. But $6.99 into $30 is not bad. This next item is a Patagonia, and this is a quarter zip merino. I take that back, not merino wool. This is lamb's wool. So this is a quarter zip lamb's wool Patagonia, extra large. It is a brown, like a dark brown color. Really nice sweater, super, super soft. And I took an offer on this of $30, so $30 plus shipping on that. Next item is another clothing item. I told you, clothing items are gonna wear you out this week, right? So these are a pair of Cool. This is the Cool Deluxe pant, 4234 straight leg. It's the patina dye, so if you have sourced these or know about these, these are really popular pants. They're maybe losing some steam because we're starting to see the market. It's not saturated by no means, not like some brands are. But compared to what it was a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, it's getting a little more saturated than it was. And so they don't move for quite as much money. The first time I was finding these, I was selling these $40 to $45. Now I'm finding that when I do comps, they're probably, like these were $34 plus shipping what I got on them. And by the way, I gave $5.99 for these at Goodwill. It's just a rack price. They did not price these up. But anyway, I was saying, Cool brand, for some reason, it's just kind of, it's dropped some. It still moves pretty good, but I can't sell them for $40 and $45 as often as I used to. I have to drop my price some. Again, $34 plus shipping. And the sale of the weekend, okay? The sale of the weekend. I'm sorry for the rustling of the bag. But you saw a few weeks ago, I sold one of these. This is an invisible fence used invisible fence replacement collar for your pet, and 1 power cap to go with it. So the invisible fence. These actually I learned from the previous seller who I got, you know, great feedback from, and they said, you know, this is, they said it worked great, was glad to have it, perfect, you know, for what they needed. But even if it hadn't worked, there's a lifetime warranty on these. So if they don't work, they can always send them in and get a new one. So I learned that. That's a pretty good bit of knowledge there in case you didn't know. That adds a little more value to these, even when maybe they're not working anymore. Now, $200 plus shipping on the invisible fence collar. If you remember back from the previous video on these, I bought this as a set. Okay, so I had, and you can see right here, it's still in the original bag. For anyone that may be questioning my honesty on that, you see that. In this bag right here were 2 collars and 9 of the power caps. I sold 7 of the power caps in a lot for $99, for $100 basically, $99.99. And I have sold each of these collars on an offer for $200 each, guys. That's $500. Don't tell me there's not things to be found out there. You can't tell me there's not money to be made on eBay. I wish everything I bought was like this, and it's not. You saw my other sales. I'm clearing $10 on some of that stuff at most, maybe $7 or $8 on a couple items. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm still making profit. But as long as I'm out there and I'm sourcing hard and working hard, then I'm going to find things like this pretty regular, okay? Probably every week there's going to be something I find that's priced really low that sells really high. And that is how you really score the big deals and boost your income as a reseller. Find deals like this. All right, guys, quick interruption for big news and big announcements. This summer, the first weekend in August, the Two Old Guys Reselling Podcast, hosted by Caleb over at The Old Paths and myself, will be hosting once again the Highway 127 Pickin The Plateau Reseller Meetup. This year we have co-hosts. Our co-host will be the Resellers Locker Room Podcast. Now, if you don't know those guys, that includes Ben the Rocky Top Picker, Alex the Beard King Picker, and Shane from over at Soda City Flips. We are so excited for this event. We have festivities planned for both Thursday night and Friday night after all the picking from the Highway 127 is over. And so, guys, just let me tell you, you don't want to miss it. Big times, fellowship, good food, good friends, and just getting to know each other. We're excited about it. We hope you'll make plans to attend, but if you do want to attend, don't wait too late. Tickets are going fast, and we have limited space, so get your name on the list quick. There's a link down below in the description. Make sure you check that out. You can get more information about the event, and if you choose to sign up, go ahead and get those tickets purchased. So guys, have a great one, and we hope to see you there. Guys, I am glad to be home, but I really enjoyed the trip out to Omaha to see some of the other resellers. Shout out to the organizers of the event. Guys, you've done such an amazing job. This was Grams and Pops, Corey and Teresa. I'll try to link all these to the video. Also, Happy and Grumpy Picker. That is Lori and Kyle. Check them out if you haven't. And Alicia, who I mentioned earlier, the Inked Picker. Guys, y'all did a wonderful job. It was a fantastic event. I enjoyed every minute of it. Can't wait for you to have one again, and hopefully we get to come back. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. I really, really appreciate the support. I appreciate subscribers. I appreciate the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all that you do. Just want to remind you again, as I always do, that I love you. But more than that, God loves you. Don't ever forget that. Guys, keep going, work hard, learn something every day, and whatever you do, don't you ever give up. I'll see you on the next one.